and Andrea from Solace Farms asked if I could record this for her. Great. So this is what we're going to do because I see validity in both. So our intuition is like I said, so our intuition goes so much deeper than just these gifts. It's truly learning the language of love. It's truly learning another language. Um, and the best way to learn another language, you can speak it, you can write it, you can listen to it, and you can act on it. And so our intuition shows up in different ways for us to speak, to write, to listen, to act. And it can be, and it is present in every moment. And it's all about learning how to trust ourselves, releasing comparison, because people can claim that they're psychic and, they could be very, very, psychic, but there's a difference between, just pulling information from the divine and actually living an intuitively guided life. Because that's the separation of what I believe is the ego from love. So what I want to have us do today, is actually, I do want to start with a little like intuition, like let's bring our intuition online a little bit. So I have a few crystals. I'm so excited for this. Because a part of becoming intuitive AF and really unlocking your third eye, because our pineal gland, as we evolve as souls, it unlocks in layers. Like we go deeper and deeper and deeper. And what better way to guide us than with our inner child who's not afraid to fail? Like there's no right or wrong. And it's teaching you to get outside of your comfort zone of, well, I don't know if this is my intuition, so I'm going to swat it off. So I actually have, I'm going to let me grab one crystal out of my pocket. Okay. So I'm holding a crystal in my hand. Now, what I invite us to do is we're going to just close our eyes if you feel comfortable. And we're going to invite your higher self down from your crown chakra, moving into your third eye, so right in between your brows. And I just want you to visualize this beautiful indigo swirling light. It's illuminating. It's becoming bigger and bigger, more vibrant. You feel this light radiate out into your entire body, touching all of your energy centers, going down through your throat, through your heart chakra, your solar plexus, your sacral, your root. You are completely encompassed in this blue light. Now, what I invite you to do is to tune into the energy of this crystal. Remember, we are all energy. There is no right or wrong. Begin to tune in. Maybe you start to hear something. Maybe you start to feel something. Really just become aware of any colors that you see. Maybe there's an experience or a past memory that begins to come up related to said crystal. visualize this crystal in your hand. Beautiful. Just taking a few more deep breaths in and out. Remember, we are getting out of our head and into our heart. All right. Now, I invite you to open back up your eyes. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys the crystal. And then we're going to just see what you got. Actually, before I show you guys the crystal, what is coming through for you guys?
Okay, when I first, closed my eyes and, tried to, I literally heard the word carnelian. Then, though, as I was going through, I asked my spirit guides to help me out, and they were showing me like a green stone. And I was like, is it malachite? I don't know. And then I was like, and then I started to get into my head again. Am I saying the wrong one? But they're the two that popped into my head.
Okay. Okay, beautiful. Mary, for you.
Sorry, couldn't get off mute. Um, I also had a bunch that went through my head. Um, so I started off with rose quartz
Mm-hmm.
and was like, because anytime I feel the heart or get around love and that, I always think of rose quartz. So I was like, well, it's not it. Um, I also thought of malachite, but it didn't stick. It kind of moved on because it was like I was feeling the heart chakra. And I was like, when I feel the heart chakra, I think of malachite, because it's green. And then I ended with amethyst because I just felt like it was a higher level of energy. Um, it just, that stone just spoke to me in this situation.
Okay. Okay. So, crystal, it's lapis.
It's another one because it's blue. It's that indigo color.
It's that indigo color. So
Very cool.
lapis is, I mean,
Like
it can be used for the throat. But this is all good practice, right? Like this is one of the ways in which we can just start to trust ourselves and ask ourselves and know the difference between what our head is saying and then dropping into our heart. And when these tests happen, like sometimes the answers are so clear. Other times they aren't. But it's all about like getting outside of your comfort zone and just playing and letting the divine speak to you. Like it isn't that interesting that both of you went to the heart chakra? Like, so clearly, I mean, regardless of the stone, right? Like, clearly there is an energy like link there in the collective consciousness that brought you guys to the heart chakra. So you're picking up on a certain energy, and that is also beautiful. Perhaps that's even like that's intuitive guidance right there. So it might not even have anything to do with this stone, but like okay, you guys are both picking up on the heart chakra. So maybe your intuition is telling you like to work with crystals regarding the heart chakra or that, green, the color of abundance, like or be on the lookout for like things that are are green or coming through like malachite, and you can work with them to open up your heart chakra. So it's interesting how intuition works, because we have to learn to trust it, but we have to also learn to get out of our own heads. And the way our intuition speaks to us is through our senses. So I know that in the last workshop, we really talked about those gut feelings, like in the solar plexus. Remember that, Karen? But our intuition here, I want to go a little bit deeper. So you were hearing things, right? Did you see any colors, or could you like feel the texture of the stone? How was your intuition really speaking to you?
Well, the speaking of the cornelian, I literally saw the orange. And then when I was, like I said, when I kind of went into my heart, I started to see like a greenish, you know what I mean? Like a greenish color within my eyes, like with your eyes being closed. And then, like I said, I could have even drummed up malachite, because I just saw the green, and the first green that comes to me that I usually use is malachite.
Wow. Okay, wonderful. And for you, Mary, how did your intuition speak to you?
Yeah, so I always get swirls of color, so it just went through the different, like, as you were speaking and envisioning, so started, like, I saw the indigo, I saw the different colors of the chakra as it goes down, but then I ended with purple. So like a purple cloud swirl kind of thing. And then I've been hearing lately like just more elemental sounds as well. So it was just more of like, with the purple, it's just humming. It wasn't actual like birds, or sometimes I hear water dripping. Yeah, that could just be my brain. Um, but it was just like humming, like a vibration. So it was purple. It ended with purple and a vibration, which is why I was also thinking amethyst with that as well,
Mm,
because
mm,
that's a stone I think of with that vibration. So
yeah. See, it's beautiful because like this exercise, and now I feel like this exercise is just more about getting in tune with how your intuition is speaking to you and how your guides are speaking to you. So, like our third eye, and it, like I said, it goes so much deeper. It's called our inner knowingness. So it's about knowing ourselves and knowing our own energy, and knowing how our energy and our guides speak to us through the channel of our intuition. And that can be represented, like I said, in the different senses. So we have dominant senses. Some of us are very clairaudient, which just means that you can receive information through sound. Some of us are more clairvoyant, which just means that you receive through vision. Others clairgustance, which is, you can do it through smell. And it goes with our senses. So as we learn to, one, strengthen our external sensory perceptions, we can also strengthen our internal sensory perceptions. And one of the best ways, sorry, there's something in my eye, to unlock your third eye and to start practicing is through meditation, and really going in and sitting and visualizing your third eye coming online and allowing the beams of light to go throughout all of your cells. And then sitting with a question. So it could be like, for you, Mary, maybe, what would you have me know today? Or what would you have me do, higher self? And then seeing how the energy comes in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the best ways, that we can work with our intuition in an external sensory like point of view is through listening. And it's listening to like one note. This is a really good practice for you guys as you work to strengthen your intuition, is putting on some like classical music that has a few different instruments, right? Or even listening to birds outside and tuning into one sound, one note, blocking out everything else and just listening to, if you're listening to classical music, listening to the celloist. What it's going to do is that's going to open up your clairaudience. And then if you guys love to cook, really being mindful with how you eat, and also using that space to smell the foods, to really just have that heightened sensory experience, tasting the foods, tasting the different ingredients in the foods. That's going to strengthen your intuitive abilities. We are intuitive beings, and our external senses, whatever we do with our senses, we're going to be able to strengthen them the more mindful we become. So when, like Karen, you were talking about learning how to trust yourself, and it's about also journaling. Do you ever journal when you get an intuitive download or something comes to you? Do you ever write it down?
I've tried it, but not regularly, I guess you would say.
Okay. So one of the best ways, again, to help strengthen your intuition, aside from like mindful eating, also breathing is amazing, because breathing brings you back into the present moment, and that allows you to hear the guidance of your intuition. Essentially what we're trying to do is eliminate ourselves from distractions, and when we keep journals of any intuitive downloads, we're trying to build confidence. We're building that trust, that connection with our higher self, so that way we don't need to use a pendulum to be guided to where to go, or to say yes or no to something. Like, we'll be able to feel it within our body. And I'm going to actually run you guys through an exercise that'll help you to understand yourself as a human pendulum, essentially. But the process of journaling is so crucial to awakening your third eye and your intuitive guidance, because one, any intuitive hit that comes down through you, whether it's an idea, whether it's like, Karen, go write today, and seeing what happens when you do that, write it down, because then you can go back and have that like actual tangible evidence, if you will, as you're starting out. It's almost like when you're even building a relationship with your spirit guides and your angels. I call it like, it's like an angel scavenger hunt of like signs and symbols. And that's where the inner child comes in. Is like, you want to take a playful route to it. It's fun. It's exciting. It's like, how will my intuition lead me today? And you write it down, and then you can go back and you can actually piece together like different themes in your life. So that way you don't really need a pendulum. You can start to see like angels and messages come through in different ways, or how your intuition is speaking to you, like through these different moments. And then that can lead to further clarity on a bigger question that you asked. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Wonderful. And what else? Do you guys have like any questions, or do you want like, because I can keep talking about this, or I can kind of open it up to you and see like how you guys want to also guide this workshop as well. Whatever is going to be most helpful.
I'm not sure.
Mary.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Okay. So, um, so then what I want to shift to is like how our inner child comes into play. And how we can really use the power of our inner child to help us break free from barriers. So when you were talking earlier, Mary, it was almost like doing the choose A or choose B type of thing. And that kind of puts you on the spot. And it's almost like having your intuition perform, which is more of like the ego side of things. But intuitive living is a lot of living from your inner child and living from the joy frequency. So our intuition, if it was a pathway, it is the frequency of love and joy, which our inner child really knows well. When we were children, we didn't really think about what we wanted to do. It was more about like we just did what felt really good to us in that moment. And we weren't afraid to color or do something outside of the lines. And the power of our inner child also teaches us that our gifts are not going to look like everyone else's. Just because our intuition speaks to us, through the channel of our senses, doesn't mean that it's going to be presented, like the information is going to be presented in the same way. And we kind of understood that from the exercise that we did at the beginning. So even though, actually you guys both said malachite, which was pretty cool. But we can still have one like kind of collective response, but the way the information is going to be downloaded to us is going to be in a way that makes sense to us and how we're supposed to communicate that to whoever is listening, or how it's going to be best communicated to us. Does that make sense? Like because we're all different, but collectively we're the same. So although it's essentially the same information that's being transmitted to both like myself, Karen, and you, Mary, it's going to be received in a different way because we're all at different stages of consciousness, and what resonates for me may not resonate for you. So when we look at other people, we can sometimes get discouraged that we're not as psychic or we're not as intuitive, but that isn't the case at all. Actually, we're extremely intuitive, and it's all just about like understanding your own energy and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And really just taking that notion of comparison out, because comparison is going to be one of the biggest barriers in awakening your third eye. And to take it, like I said, one step deeper, it's about understanding who you are as an energetic being and doing what is best for you in that moment. And maybe you're being called to work with something, but somebody out for, inner child healing, right? But someone else is called to work with like a different type of stone or a different teacher. You have to respect your decision and understand that your intuitive guidance is going to bring you to who you're meant to meet right now, and that someone else's path is going to just might look entirely different than yours, and that's okay. And just because you're not saying the exact same thing as somebody else who is also intuitive or psychic doesn't mean that the information that you're receiving is any less valid. Does that make sense? And another really big barrier that we're going to release is what you were talking about earlier, is that expectation. Sometimes our gifts aren't going to come online all at the same time. It's going to happen in waves. And it's because sometimes we are not ready to receive all of our gifts. And that's okay. And we can really start to hone in, especially within meditation and in everyday life. Like if your strongest, most like your dominant Claire is clairvoyance, which is the ability to see. Perhaps you just focus on that for right now and see how that is presented to you, and start to really just hone in on that craft and that skill. And then as you become more comfortable with that, more of your divine gifts and your intuition is going to start speaking to you in different ways. But it's all about divine timing and patience, but not having expectations as to how your gifts show up. And loving your gifts no matter what, because your gifts are inherently yours. And it's super cool because it's all we all have those superpowers. We're all energetic beings. So take that and like run with that. Does this all make sense so far? Is this helpful for you guys?
Yeah. Makes
One.
sense.
Yeah. And so now what I invite us to do, because this is going to help you to figure out what is your most dominant clair, is I'm going to have you just tune into your body again. And if you feel comfortable to close your eyes, we're going to close our eyes. I'm going to have you bring up a memory that brings you so much joy. Maybe it's like a favorite thing that you love to do. And as you bring up this memory, just become aware first of the feeling within your body. Feel that energy. What does that feel like? That joy feel like moving through your body? Maybe your cells start to tingle. Maybe you just feel so clear going up and down from your root all the way up to your crown. Maybe your third eye literally feels like it's coming online and it's opening. Just take note of that feeling. And now, as you tune into the memory, what are some of the first things that you notice? Is it a sound that comes to you? Is it an actual image of the memory or the experience? Or is it a smell? Let your intuition speak to you through your channels. And perhaps you're seeing and you're hearing things. Just take note of whatever is happening for you right now. Beautiful. And now I invite you to just open your eyes, coming back here, and just jotting down anything that resonated with you, any ways that your intuition spoke to you. And I love it too, because our intuition is like a best friend. It's like literally a piece of our higher selves. So it's going to speak to you in a way that resonates with where you are. And that's the best thing about our intuition, is that it meets us where we are. And it's always on. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect in the way that it comes to us. It's just a matter of being open to receive. And write down where in the body, if you felt any sensations in your body, where in the body you felt that joy. And when you're done, just look at me. So I know. Wonderful. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you're going to start to understand what a no feels like in your body. So we're going to go back into a visualization. So I invite you to just close your eyes. And now we're going to bring up a memory or an experience that was unpleasant, that you felt angry, that just did not sit right with you. And I want you to notice where in the body you feel this. I also invite you to pay attention to how this energetically shows up in your body. Do you feel a tightening? Do you see red? Or maybe you just see nothing? Does it feel like your chest just gets tight? Just notice. Anything that happens to you. And we don't need to stay here long. Just enough to understand what a firm no feels like in your body. And while we're here, I invite you to ask your intuition to show you what a no feels like. Again, pay attention to anything that you hear, anything that you feel, anything that you see. Beautiful. Coming back into this moment, I want you to jot down anything that came to you when understanding what a no feels like within your body. This is going to be very helpful, especially Karen, for you when you're doing pendulum work. Our bodies are human pendulums. So you can tune in and begin to, and this is what I also invite you to do, if you feel called, is you can still use your pendulum, of course, but maybe start by asking your intuition the question and seeing how it resonates in your body. Because the more you do that, the more you're going to strengthen, and the more you're allowing your intuition to speak to you and to build that relationship. Your intuition is your bestie. So it's all about just like building a relationship with your spirit guides. We need to practice, and we need to talk to our intuition. So just take note. Wonderful. And when you're done, okay, coolio. So so I would love to hear your feedback on like what a yes feels like in your body, and also what was your dominant sense when we brought up that joyful experience, because I have a little sheet here to tell you what your most dominant Claire will be. So floor's your guys. Floor's yours.
You want to go first, Mare?
Sure.
Okay.
So it was a little different because I hadn't really done the activity like that before. But so first it was because I bounced between like 3 different memories, which was
Okay.
weird, but they were all different. So it was so it started off with like just a feeling, like just feeling light, and you felt the joy like in the chest
Mm.
and just like radiating like in the torso part of the body.
Okay.
But then I started hearing the surroundings.
Mm.
Like I could hear rustling leaves. I could hear um like just the I don't know how to explain it because it was a baby, but they weren't crying. So it was just like they're like hearing just like their heart beating and things like that. But it was just more of that, like just full of joy and light. Like I
Mm.
just felt fluffy.
I
Does that make sense? Like just
Yeah,
it was just like I never want to leave this spot kind of
yes.
feeling.
That absolutely makes sense. And that's absolutely your intuition. Like your intuition is that feeling. So when you feel that feeling, do more of that. And
Mm.
you can cultivate that feeling in an everyday life, as we were mentioning in our one-on-one, by following joy.
Mm-hmm.
And even a question that you can ask your intuition, because from this workshop, if you take away anything, it's one, your dominant Claire, so that way you can begin to build a relationship with that sense and start to strengthen it, which from what you're saying is going to be clairsentience, which is the ability to receive information through the physical sensations of the body through feeling, and clairaudience and in hearing. So for you specifically, Mary, I would recommend doing that one note exercise. But also when you're in meditation, allowing for your intuition to come in and speak to you. So asking your intuition a question and just patiently awaiting that response. Um, and asking your intuition in the morning, what would you have me know today? And what would you have me do? And just wait and start to just even feel something. Maybe you feel like going on a nature walk, right? And just before you act on it, tune in and understand how that feels for you in your body. Um, so that is what I invite you to focus on as you work on activating and unlocking your third eye, because then as you do that and you get more comfortable with that, spirit, the universe is going to continue to send you more upgrades in waves. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Well, how did that note feel?
It was also feeling, but it was more like tightness in specifically like the chest and the throat, because I felt like it was against my truth. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was like that, like, it was like, no, this isn't right. This isn't your truth kind of thing. But I didn't hear anything with that. That the no was more colors,
Okay.
more like darker colors, because I always see colors, but
Yeah. Yeah. So also a little bit of clairvoyance as well. But with the no, it's predominantly just to get you used to like what just doesn't feel good to you. So that way when we're presented with opportunities or when something comes in and we're like, maybe I should go and like do this today. And all of a sudden you feel that tightness in your chest or your throat, then you know that's not your intuition speaking to you. So that's the helpful exercise in making sure that we're continuing to follow in our intuition and live an intuitively guided life. What about for you, Karen?
For me, mine definitely feels like in my heart, just the joy. Like I can feel like it's almost like, you know, that excitement, like you said, when you're a kid and you're about to do, like I felt like that. But then it was like my body itself felt like just peaceful and calm. And the first thing I could clearly smell salty air. So of course, you know, I'm at the beach, but I
Mhm.
can clearly smell the salt air and I can physically feel as if the sun is hitting my arms.
Wow. Okay. So this ability to smell, it's clairalience. And breathing exercises are going to help to improve that. Also, 555. So breathing exercises. I recommend doing some alternative nostril breathing.
Okay.
It's a great way to balance, but it's going to help like clear out everything and really awaken your third eye.
Okay.
So alternative nostril breathing, and then you also um are it looks like your intuition is coming through through clairsentience, which I mean, again, we're energetic beings. We feel, especially as women, we feel
Hmm.
so beautiful. I recommend even sitting in meditation for like 5 minutes, or for both of you guys actually, and just sitting with that feeling. So that way it's almost like, when you get a new mattress or something, and or like new shoes and you got to break them in. Like it's literally just getting your energetic body used to a new vibration. So I recommend taking that experience and sitting with that feeling and allowing yourself to get used to it. So that way, when you're presented with situations in your life, you understand that feeling so well, because that is the feeling of your intuition, of your higher self. And what did a no feel like in your body?
The no was definitely in my, I guess you'd say my stomach area, like it's a tightening.
Mm,
And like I literally could feel like a tingling going down my arms, like
mm,
the no and like the madness. I
mm.
literally can feel it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So and for you, oh, this is so exciting. Okay. Because now it's like we don't need to seek external validation. We already have all the answers within us. Like, and so practice when you before you ask your pendulum, ask yourself first.
okay.
All right. Like, do I do this today? No. And like you'll hear it, you'll feel that same feeling or something very similar. And it's beautiful because know thyself. Like the more we can understand our own energy and how we operate, the more intuitive we become. It's our gifts are just a communication channel for the divine to speak to us. But as we learn to really navigate life according to our intuition, according what feels good to us, that's when we're living an intuitively guided life and activating from the third eye, because the third eye is the I am presence. That's when we can see past the illusions. So seeing past all that stuff that doesn't bring us joy, and truly see the truth of life, which is gratitude and love and freedom and playfulness. So that, and I would that's what I would recommend doing, is just spending a few moments every morning just cultivating, calling in your intuition and allowing yourself to be blessed in your intuitive light.
Okay.
Like, and then just write about the experience. Like, I would spend 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes, 5 minutes just sitting in that energy, and then another 5 minutes just journaling about maybe anything that comes through. So you're tailoring, as we were talking about in the beginning of this workshop, how when we learn a new language, we can speak it, we can listen, we can write, and we can act on it. And journaling is a form of practicing the new language, because we're allowing our intuition to speak through us in written word. Does that all make sense?
Oh, it does. It does.
Wonderful.
Let me ask you this: the alternative, not, is that where like it's up through the left, down, like in through? Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, so you can do it a few different ways, and the left nostril is your feminine, the right
Okay.
side is your masculine. So
Okay.
you can do like breathe in one, hold it, and then breathe out the other side, whatever you feel called to do. But
Okay.
and then plug in your other side. And
Okay.
you're going to feel so much more balanced. Like, alternative nostril breathing rocks the socks. Like, it's really powerful.
Okay.
And it's awesome because it's right near the pineal gland too. So it's going to help just balance everything out and really bring everything online.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
I love this.
Me too. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, so we'll just do one more closing little meditation where I'm just going to ask your intuition, your higher selves. Also, I'm just going to bring in all of your angels and your guides to come and just join in this moment. So for Mary, I'm just calling in like all of the earth angels, all of the nature spirits, and all of her beautiful angels and guides. And then Karen, all of your beautiful angels and guides. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And then I'm just asking for Karen and Mary's higher self to go forth and just go in and touch their third eye. And just visualize yourself looking through this new life, this new lens. Visualize yourself looking through the one eye, the I am. And imagine that your third eye is illuminating with this white, purpley light. And it's going all around you. Like, you can feel this orb of light all around you. And this orb of light is almost doing like an infinity sign all the way down your body. And your angels are coming in and they're opening up your pineal gland. They're activating your different sensory channels. And one of the most beautiful things about following our intuitive guidance is that we are choosing the path of the unknown. There is no guide map given to us. but what we are doing is we are choosing to follow the light that lives within us. And along the way, our angels and our guides are here, creating a safe space for us to walk hand in hand with our higher self. We are never alone as we walk on this journey. And we will always see the light within when we look through the one presence, the energy of the I am. My prayer over both of you is for your days to be illuminated with the joy, the peace, and the love that following your intuition comes with. That the intuitive guidance is something that radiates and culminates within you. That you become so comfortable with. It is a second language to you. You are bilingual, but this is your truth. You're just remembering the language of love. And my prayer is that every moment of every day, your intuitive guidance gets stronger and stronger, and you learn to trust and have faith in yourself. Have faith in the guidance that is given, because you are here to live a blessed, beautiful, and prosperous life. Taking in one more deep breath. I just invite you to ask your higher self, or even ask your angels, whoever you want to ask in this moment, what is one way that I can follow my intuition? Maybe it's one word. Whatever comes through for you, let it come through. Just know that your angels and your guides are celebrating you. Okay. Beginning to come back into the space. Going back into this moment. Intuitive AF. Just taking note of anything that your angel said to you. I will open it up for any closing remarks that you guys have. And then I'll just say one more thing before we dip out.
I really didn't get anything.
No, that's okay.
My husband walked up in and he's like, "Where's the cats?" I'm like, "I didn't you want freaking call right now?" So I apologize.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I just got one word, and it was believe. Believe.
Believe.
At least
love
it
that.
wasn't patience this time. They were beating me over the head with that one for a while.
Patience. Hey, we've upgraded. Upgraded to
Yeah.
believe. Well, wonderful, wonderful. Just know that your angels and your guides are so proud of you for just taking the step to move towards inner peace, and detach from the external world of suffering. And just know that we have everything within us that we need to create an immaculate, beautiful, blessed life, and to believe in yourself. And to wrap up, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for tuning in and for just attending this workshop. And if you have any feedback for me on how like I can improve these, or anything that would help better assist you on your journey in your intuitive development and also understanding yourself, please let me know. And I'm also going to give you guys 10% off of any angel card readings. So yes, so definitely take advantage of them. And I'll set the coupon, but yeah, I'll send you guys both a coupon for 10% off of the angel readings. But if you guys have any feedback for me, let me know. But if not, then thank you guys so much. And oh, this has been so much fun.
Thank you.
It's this fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
No feedback. You're awesome.
I know.
Oh.
I agree.
Oh, well, thank you guys so much. I love this, and I will continue to do these once a month because I like them and I feel like they're a lot of fun. So yeah, next time we'll probably, I don't know, work on like intuitive guidance and developing connections with your angels.
Okay.
That sounds like fun.
I love it.
Wonderful. Well, you guys have
My
a,
angels are always a riot. So.
yeah, I mean, hello. Yes, we have angels that are funny, angels that'll kick our booty sometimes, but in the most loving and compassionate way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love our angels. So what better way than to really just understand and dive into the angel realm and understand that like how they can support us and facilitate healing in our lives to help us become more intuitive. Well, thank you guys. Have a wonderful night.
You
And
also.
I will talk to you guys very, very soon.
Thank you.
Alrighty, bye.
Bye.
Bye.